What's up guys, it's Lenny, your fan of stuff to you, and today I'm coming at you with the Super Heavy Samurai deck skeleton, just to give you a brief overall understanding of the deck and how it works, and kind of just ways that you can run the deck to make it strong, and just some things that I like with the deck and some text to run. And the reason why it's a deck skeleton is because there's so many open slots in the deck that you can kind of run whatever you want. I do have some preferences of things I like that I'm going to be running probably, but there are a lot of different options you can run. And the basics of the deck are pretty simple. You're running the entire Super Heavy Samurai core search engine, so everything in the deck that searches basically. So triple wagon, triple soul piercer, triple wakaushi, triple bike, two big benkai, but I'm going to probably be running three, and I'll show you why in a second. Soul Peacemaker at 1. You could run it at 2. I think at 2 might be a bit better, but again, that's all dependent on testing and checking that sort of thing out. So it's really like what you like more. 1-0 Maxwell, FTK Enabler. Obviously, you have your two Soulbreaker armors. These guys are the FTK pieces. And then you've got your 1 Gearbox because it searches a lot of stuff. Booster is just an extender. Constable is a nice card to be running in the deck. That's strong. It's a good extender. Continues plays very nice. And same thing with Scales over here. It's a strong extender. It's decent on turn 2. And you can run it at 2 if you want in the deck as well. And then triple Metal Cruncher because once again, another FTK that you can kind of play. And then you've got triple King Therion King Regulus because this card is just insanely strong in the deck. You're running like 30 to 40 machines in the deck. And you have a Link 1 monster. This means that basically you're always going to have a machine in your graveyard for Therion to be live with. So you always basically have an Omni Negate as long as Therion is in your hand. Very, very good. The rest of the deck, there are 3 different ways you can run it. And I'm going to say them in increasing order of what I like, and then you can try it and see which one you like the most. So the first way, probably the weakest way in my opinion, is to run the Infinitrack engine alongside this. You can't really run the Machina engine because they rely decently on spell and traps for consistency. But the Infinitrack engine doesn't really rely on any spell and traps, and Brutal Dozer is a really strong card. The only problem is that because Wakaushi is a dark, and a bunch of your extra deck cards are not Earth Machines, and the combo for FTK relies on not using Earth Machines, this means that you have to go for some backup plays or some alternative plays to make the deck stronger to go into these types of boards. On top of that, it relies on you basically maxing out your extra deck space for the Infinitrack engine and not really having maxing out your extra deck space for the Infinitrack engine and not really having space for things like Dweller or Baguska or these other backup plays in case your stuff gets stopped. You can just go for these kind of floodgate cards and pass the turn and let your opponent kind of deal with it. So you're kind of stuck on that in that kind of regard. After that, you could just run like 12 hand traps in the deck. Nothing super complicated, just like whatever you want. DD Crow's Veiler, Ash Blossom, definitely Nibiru's with Kashtira coming up, and just so many different things like that. So you can just run whatever hand traps you want, 12 of them. You could put those in your deck. It's always an option. You could do a mix of Infinitrack and that as well. But my favorite way to add on to the deck, and we're going to get into this a little bit later, is going to be running Symphonic Warrior guitars and mics, kind of as a Tekken Temborg Terratop package with triple guitars and 1 mics. Or you can run 1 and 1 and just hope to search it with Gear Gain Text. But regardless, I would be running 3 guitars and 1 mics is what I seem to like, alongside the 3rd big Benkai because it gives you more FTK options at that point and extenders, which is really, really good. I'm going to show you guys a video in just a second when we're done this. Then the extra deck is very simple. Masurayo at 1 because it FTKs your opponent. Baron de Fleur, it negates anything and is a broken synchro. Tilting Entrainment, boom, extender, super strong. Axel Synchro, broken synchro and extender, super strong. Giga Text, not necessary for the FTK, as someone pointed out in the comments in my last video. I searched for Gaia Booster, went into Gear Gigant, and then searched for Soulbreaker. You could just straight search for Soulbreaker Armor and do the FTK. However, I think you should still run it because you can tech in Cyberstein with an Exterio if you have the space in your extra deck, or you can cut something in the deck that you're not super happy with. Put in a Cyberstein, run Exterio. Gear Text also lets you search out Guitar, which is really, really good with Big Benkai because Wakaushi summons himself and then Big Benkai searches, and then Guitars can come down, be the scale 7, get you another free Pendulum monster so you can go into Beyond the Pendulum, and it just lets you go off like crazy, and you're going to see in just a second why I really like that. But Gear Text gives you a lot of options, which is really good. Ballista, just an insane good card in machine decks, searches 2 cards, on its own, very good. Helps because you can almost always chain block either Soul Piercer or itself with the other one, which is nice. Beyond the Pendulum, FTK Enabler, and then the 2 Scarecrows. One Scarecrow is a combo starter. It's the first thing you're linking for to let you reborn a monster from the grave. And then the second one is used as a combo finisher. So if you have Soulbreaker armor in your hand and you can't find a way to send him to the grave, you can always equip him to any loose Super Heavy Samurai on the field, any of them that are just sitting there, and then link that away for Scarecrow, and that'll push Soulbreaker armor into the grave so you can pop your opponent for another 4k and win the game. Aside from the techs over here of Symphonic Warrior guitars and mics, you also can run Clipboard Genius, which is a really powerful card. Could search out the Therion King Regulus, can get you Big Benkai, can even get you Machina Metal Cruncher, but that's probably less relevant. Regardless, it could search out a lot of stuff that's really good for you, basically an Omni Negate, and sometimes it negates stuff. And then you have Platinum Gadget as an extender that you can use if for some reason your whole play gets messed up, you don't have something you can go for. You always have the option of Gear Gain Techs into Cyberstein, link out for Platinum Gadget, drop Cyberstein, go for Exterio, and then maybe continuing some plays after that, doing some really, really cool stuff. Now, one of the reasons why I like this guitar mics thing a lot is not only does it increase your FTK potential and FTK percentages, it helps secure your FTKs because you get an extra monster on the field that's a pendulum monster, so easy to work with for Beyond the Pendulum. On top of that, that monster gives you an extra normal summon, so you kind of work around Super Heavy Samurai's one normal summon might screw you over type thing. And on top of that, again, Symphonic Warrior Mike's effect doesn't activate, meaning your opponent cannot respond to the effect to get an extra normal summon with something like Effect Veiler or Impermanence or like Baron de Fleur. They can't respond to the effect because there's nothing being activated. A chain link hasn't started. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I tried to keep it a little bit shorter. Thank you guys for watching, and let's get right into the combo, and I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.